As promised, I'm back and we're going to talk about the crankshaft. And I have it up on the screen in front of us. Let's look at it from multiple views. I don't think we've done this in class actually. If we go down here in the nav and we go to viewports, and let's look at multiple views. So there's our home position, top, front, and the left and right. Okay? So we got multiple views of what we're going to create here. Let's go on to the dimension sheet at this point. I'm going to drag it over. And there we are with the dimension sheet. We're going to start off with this sketching this shape right here. We don't need this circle in the middle at this point. Actually, it's not a bad idea that we have it, I guess. Wouldn't hurt anything to have it in there. I think I put it in actually, because this, if we look at our dimension sheet, this arc is one, which starts about in here, is 1 inch above the center of that circle. The measurement on these projects are in inches, so I would change my document settings to start off with. And don't forget to create your new component as you start creating, okay? Because we're going to have the assembly file. We have to have components to insert them into our assembly file. So I think, as I said, I would start with this shape. Because we've got this shape, we would extrude this first arm here. Then we could probably create a construction plane. We're going to have the distance between these two, this face and the outside face on this side of this arm. Construction plane and extrude from that plane back here, so we don't have to sketch that shape once. If we look at this, okay, if we sketch this first and we look at the front section, we see this side, it's actually an arc is what we're going to create here. But let's go look at our dimensions. The radius of that arc, we'll find it right here, is 0.625 inches. If we come here to the front view, we're going to see this dimension right here showing that circle inside of it is 1.25 inches, which happens to be twice 0.625. So that radius represents the same arc or the diameter, they would be equal. And you'll see that when we look at it. Notice, okay, this is the front. This is what we would have extruded up at this level right here, when we created this shape. Well, this is just a circle, 1.25, drawn on this side of it, extruded. And once again, we could use that sketch and extrude from this side as well. Now, you don't get the actual dimension of that extrude from this face. You've got enough information to figure out what it should be. Okay, so you could look at that a couple different ways. You could look at the overall width. Okay, this is going to be the width of that construction plane I was talking about. It's 1.5. You've got the width of this piece, which is going to be the same on both sides, and you've got the width of the whole thing. So you can figure it out. Or you could look at the whole thing compared to the 1.5 inches, see what's left. So once we complete the two arms, we're going to build this intersection. Once you do this section, then you'll get the middle section where the connecting rod latches onto there. And you can complete this section. Then where this 1 inch circle is, That's extruded out, and those distances are given to you. This is going to be, being able to sketch this out is going to be the key to your design. The rest of it's very simple. Okay, so if I look at the timeline down here, created my component, my initial sketch, which is going to create this face. Okay, it's extruded. There's the initial extrude. Now I create my construction plane. Let's make that construction plane visible real quick. Oh, it's not wanting to show up. Oh, it's behind. Let's make that. There we go. So you see where the construction plane is right there. So that construction plane, let's look at the orientation. That sketch was probably, that initial sketch was on the right-left plane, okay? And the construction plane's built off of that. I extruded the other side from the construction plane. We've done this in class. You can figure that out. The next sketch would have been creating my circle there on the other side of that face, extruding it from the other side. Another sketch to create the inner circle and extruding it. There's the sketch showing my circle that represents my the shaft going out either side and it being extruded. Back to the dimension sheet. You've got everything you need on here. I've given you 2 of the sketches. All right. Well, one of the sketches. I've given you a view of it pre-trimmed before I trimmed out a bunch of my lines, and then the final result of that sketch. Now, there's multiple ways of getting to it, but you need to get to that shape. That's the bottom line. What else could I add that would help you out here? I think you've got everything you need. There's no reason why you can't complete this at this point in time. I've kind of given you my steps. I haven't given you the details. I've given you the dimensions. And the dimension sheets provide the relationship of the various shapes to one another. Best of luck. That's all you get.